Who says a walk can't be a good workout? Well, I think it's a great workout. So the way I approach a walk as a workout, and what I recommend to my patients, is approach it as you would a run. Now that seems kind of odd. Why would you approach a walk as you would a run? But when you think about it, the routes can be the same. You're walking on concrete, or you're walking on trail, or if you're by a beach, you're walking on sand, right? And you want to have some kind of plan. You want to have a plan of where you're going. You're not just going to start running and end up somewhere, right? You're going to have some kind of a plan when you're running, when you turn around and come back. Well, the same thing applies to a walk. Now, the other thing is that, let's say you have a park or someplace nearby where you can do pull-ups and sit-ups and push-ups, maybe you can do lunges and squats. Now you're adding in some extra calisthenics and activities to your walk that really can create a workout. It's the same thing you do as a run. And often I see runners doing that. I'll see them stopping and doing all these different exercises as a part of their run. So including all these other activities into your walk can be a great way to build it out into an actual workout and actually make it challenging. So one thing I find with walkers that I don't tend to see with runners is walkers tend to walk in anything they have, old pair of tennis shoes or old running shoes or whatever. And that's really a mistake. You should actually be walking in good quality running shoes. And the reason for that is you're going to heel strike when you walk a lot more than you would when you run. As a matter of fact, you should not be heel striking when you run. You should be forefoot planting. So the cadence for walking is very different from running, but the impact for walking is actually more than running because you're heel striking all the time when you walk. That's part of your cadence. So it's very important when you're a walker, walking as a workout, to have good quality running shoes. And good quality running shoes are expensive. They're $100, $120 a piece. Hoka's and some of the top Nikes and Adidas are relatively expensive. Now the other thing that I find interesting is that a lot of people will keep a pair of running shoes way too long. Now the average pair of running shoes should only last you for maybe 500 miles at most, and then you want to change them out. And that's because you wear down the sole, right? The sole becomes compacted. It doesn't have the same bounce anymore. Now, if you think about it, let's say you have a pair of running shoes for 500 miles. And let's say that you walk 20 miles a week, right? So if you're walking 4 times a week, let's say averaging 5 miles, that's 20 miles a week. Well, 500 divided by 20 is 25. So you should be changing out your running shoes every 25 weeks or maybe every 6 months. And that's another thing that you have to keep in mind is that there's a lot of impact when you walk, especially if you're walking for a workout. So you're really walking, right? You're striding out, you're even speed walking. All that impact from walking is actually going into your ankles and knees and hips and low back. And you want to have running shoes or good quality shoes that will take that impact for you so it doesn't reverberate up through your body. So another thing to consider is that if you're walking for a workout, so maybe your walks are getting more challenging, maybe you're doing different routes that are more challenging, or you're doing hill climbs, maybe you're doing a lot of trail work, and you're actually walking 4, maybe 5 days a week, and maybe 4 or 5, even 6 miles every time you go out, is you're working these large muscle groups. So quads, your hamstrings, your calves, the glute muscles, right? The hip muscles, the low back muscles, even the core muscles. You're working those out quite a bit on a weekly basis. So it's important that you stretch before and after your walk. Now, you wouldn't go for a run without stretching before and after. And if you're a runner, you just know that, right? You always want to stretch before and after you run. Well, you want to apply the same thing to walking, especially if you're walking for a workout. You want to make sure you're stretching before and after. Because what you don't want to do is not stretch, and then those ligaments, the tendons, the muscles, they start getting tight, and that could lead to injury, and then that would maybe set you back and kind of kill the progress you've been making. So one final thought, if you're going to partner up with somebody or you're going to start walking with a friend, unless it's a 4-legged friend, make sure that person is at your level. So they share the same goals you have, they want to take the same routes, maybe they want to do hill climbs with you, or you guys both decide you want to do trails together. Because the last thing you want to do is partner up with somebody and then you're the slow one or they're the slow one and you're not progressing together. Because walking is a really, really great workout, and it's great for your cardiovascular system and for your lymphatic system, and it's something you can do year round. So hopefully you take up walking and you really start to enjoy it and do it for a long, long time.